I'm sure you've heard the news. The small town of Eldridge has always been shrouded in mystery, a place where the past and present seem to intertwine seamlessly. It's a town where legends are not just stories, but living, breathing entities that walk among us. And today we delve into one such legend, a tale that has captivated the hearts and minds of the townsfolk for generations. In Eldridge, legends come alive. The town, nestled between misty forests and ancient villages, holds secrets that are whispered through the rustling leaves and echoed in the old cobblestone streets. It's a place where time seems to stand still, and the boundary between reality and the supernatural is blurred. And this one, it's a love story that transcends time, a tale of passion, longing, and an unbreakable bond that defies the very fabric of reality. It's a story that begins in the heart of Eldridge, in a time long forgotten, yet its echoes can still be felt today. On a stormy night, Ethan, a local historian, ventured into the abandoned manor on the hill. The manor, once a grand symbol of opulence and elegance, now stood as a haunting reminder of a bygone era. Its walls, though crumbling, still held the whispers of the past, and its halls were filled with the ghosts of memories long forgotten. With only a flickering lantern to guide him, he stepped into the dusty grandeur of the old ballroom. The room, though covered in a thick layer of dust, still retained its former glory. The chandeliers, though dimmed by time, still sparkled faintly, and the grand piano, though silent, seemed to hold a melody within its keys. The air was thick with memories, and the faint strains of a waltz seemed to echo through the room. It was as if the very walls were alive, whispering tales of love and loss, of joy and sorrow. Ethan could almost see the couples dancing, their laughter and chatter filling the air, their movements graceful and fluid. Suddenly the music grew louder and the temperature dropped. A chill ran down Ethan's spine, and he felt a presence, something otherworldly, something that didn't belong to this realm. The air grew heavy and the room seemed to darken, as if the very essence of the manor was coming to life. Ethan turned to see a figure in a flowing gown, pale as moonlight, gliding toward him. Her movements were graceful, almost ethereal, and her presence seemed to command the very air around her. She was a vision of beauty and sorrow, a ghostly apparition that seemed to be both there and not there at the same time. It was Lady Isolde, her haunting blue eyes locking onto his. Her gaze was intense, filled with a mixture of longing and sadness, as if she carried the weight of centuries within her. Her eyes seemed to pierce through Ethan, seeing into the very depths of his soul. "Will you dance with me?" she whispered, her voice like a soft breeze. It was a voice that seemed to come from another time, another place, filled with a haunting melody that tugged at Ethan's heart. It was an invitation, a plea, a call that he couldn't ignore. Ethan's heart raced. He knew the stories but felt an irresistible pull toward her. It was as if he was being drawn into a dream, a world where time and reality had no meaning. He could feel his heartbeat quicken, his breath catching in his throat, as he took a step toward her. As he took her hand, the world around them faded. The dusty ballroom transformed into a place of magic and wonder, the walls shimmering with a golden light, the chandeliers sparkling like stars. It was as if they had stepped into another realm, a place where only they existed. They danced, lost in the magic of the moment. Their movements were fluid and graceful, their bodies moving in perfect harmony. It was a dance that transcended time, a waltz that seemed to carry them through the ages, their souls intertwined in a timeless embrace. But a dark shadow lurked at the edges of the ballroom, hungry and menacing. It was a presence that seemed to feed on the very essence of the dance, a force that sought to tear them apart. The air grew heavy with dread and the light began to fade as the shadow drew closer. Isolde's expression shifted from bliss to dread. Her eyes widened with fear and her movements became frantic, as if she was trying to escape the grasp of the shadow. It was a look of desperation, a silent plea for help, as the darkness threatened to consume her. "We must finish the dance before it takes me," she urged. Her voice was filled with urgency, a desperate cry for salvation. It was a race against time, a battle against the darkness that sought to claim her. Ethan could feel the weight of her plea, the intensity of her fear as he held her close. Ethan held her close, dancing with fervour. He could feel the strength of her spirit, the determination in her movements as they fought against the encroaching darkness. It was a dance of defiance, a testament to their love and their will to survive. The shadow drew nearer, its cold presence wrapping around them. It was a force that seemed to drain the very life from the room, a darkness that sought to extinguish the light of their love. Ethan could feel its icy grip, the chill of its touch, as it closed in on them. "I won't let you go!" he cried. His voice was filled with determination, a vow to protect her at all costs. It was a promise, a declaration of his love as he held her tighter, refusing to let the darkness take her. With one final twirl, the lantern flickered, casting a brilliant light that banished the darkness. It was a light that seemed to come from within, a beacon of hope that drove away the shadows. The room was filled with a radiant glow as the darkness was pushed back and the light of their love shone brightly. Ethan whispered, "I love you," and Isolde's eyes sparkled with sorrow and gratitude. It was a moment of pure emotion, a connection that transcended time and space. Her eyes were filled with tears, a mixture of joy and sadness as she looked into his soul. "You've set me free," she said, her form dissolving like mist. It was a moment of release, a liberation from the chains that had bound her for centuries. Her spirit seemed to lift, to soar, as she faded into the light, leaving behind a sense of peace and fulfillment. As morning light broke through the windows, Ethan stood alone, his heart heavy yet lightened by their connection. It was a moment of reflection, a realization of the depth of their bond. He could feel the warmth of her spirit, the lingering presence of her love, as he stood in the quiet solitude of the ballroom. The warmth of Isolde's spirit lingered, a reminder that love can conquer even the darkest of fates. It was a testament to the power of their connection, a love that transcended time and space, a bond that could never be broken. It was a story that would live on, a legend that would be told for generations to come, a haunting love story that would never be forgotten.